coming to you live from the land of chlamydia-ridden koalas. It's time for Destiny Down Under.
Or 229th episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. I can't remember which, and it doesn't fucking matter because, I don't know, the numbers are made up. We're a human construct. Who gives a shit? As every week, I'm joined by none other than... Are you cold, Matt? Are you cold? Cold Hobbit? Matt Mylan Games?
I think I'm getting I'm getting something because you know when you feel it in your chest, you can't breathe.
You got the Rona.
Well, no, I don't think I got the Rona because it's not really in Perth, but I've got something. I don't know. I went to jiu-jitsu training every week this week, so someone probably fucking has a flu or a cold or some shit.
You just wore yourself out. I always used to do that when I get back into training, and I'd be like into it and go so hard into it that you just burn yourself out and get sick and then stop.
And I've been going pretty hard on the YouTube content too. We've been slamming
ripping
content.
and tearing, that's for sure.
I've been ripping and tearing, so but I don't know. Have you ever felt it in your lungs before? Like when you get it gets in your lungs, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. And it's like,
and you can almost feel like my right lung is like a bit fucked at the moment. Anyway, and because of my asthma, it gets bad. So
asthma.
I almost was like, you got my fucking. I had to get me my spacer out.
Oh, you had to use the big barrel.
Yeah, I was
I haven't used one of them.
Fucking,
I've got one for the kids. Like, come here.
I had to use one because it was fucked this morning. So I almost was like, Danny's like, just you're not streaming today. Like fucking.
Nearly made the executive decision on you.
Yeah, I want to take you to hospital. I was like, I'll be okay. Just give me a moment to wake up, have a warm shower and stuff.
Imagine turning up to hospital with respiratory symptoms in this day and age would be a pretty fun fucking experience.
I know. I was like,
just
dude,
throwing it out there.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I don't know if hospital's the best fucking place. I mean,
to be fair, and just to preface this for anyone like watching this in a part of the world that isn't Perth, like Perth hasn't had a COVID case in what, 2 months? Like the most isolated city in the fucking world.
Yeah,
so,
we've had people come into Perth that already had COVID, but not community transmission. Yeah. I think community transmission was like just before my wedding. We had one a little bit recently as well. We had a snap lockdown, fucking nipped it in the butt real quick, and then we're back to normal. So
yeah. So
yeah,
I don't think you've got the Rona.
No, it'd be very unlucky about the Rona, but fuck, man, but not being able to breathe is nuts. I've had my first vaccination shot. I'm getting my second this week. If I've got the flu, or if I've got a cold in general, can I get my second vaccination? Will that fuck me up?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor. You should ask a doctor.
Okay.
I don't know. Dr. Lupo, get him on. Fucking ring him up. You are a doctor. You should know.
You're not meant to go if you're unwell. Yeah, that's what I thought. You know what? We should talk about YouTube. It's a light day. We should talk about YouTube streaming. Big moves.
Dude, we absolutely can. That was the big news of the week.
That
was the big content of the week, I suppose, right? Admittedly, there's not all that much has happened in Destiny, but Iron Banner came back and that's about it. The story's evolved. There's lots of lore stuff going on. I can imagine we can fill it in doing that, but yeah.
Do you know what the highlight of hold on, a couple of things. Apparently Joe Blackburn did an interview, IGN or something like that. Did you see that?
That was the week before last, wasn't it?
I think it was recent.
Oh,
was it more recent?
No, I haven't. Maybe I mustn't have then. I must have missed it. I'll have to go and check it out.
I feel like it was like this week. I don't know. I just saw someone say it in the DCP chat and then I don't think anyone had watched it, so I'm not too sure. Highlight of this week.
What's that?
You know what it's going to be.
What is it?
Dino lady interview.
Oh, that was insane. That was insane.
How fun was that?
Yeah, I mean, I was working from home, so I got to sit and have a listen. Fucking hell. Like, talk about, you know, you make your own luck and, you know, just open the microphone and let anyone who wants to get up and talk about their job, right?
Yeah.
And then you get a
For those who missed it,
paleontologist.
for those who missed it, I was doing a normal stream and, you know, I don't know. You know, sometimes Destiny's just background footage. It can be a bit boring, a bit stale sometimes. So I just said, oh, Felicia was saying something and I was like, I don't get it. My brain's too smooth. Explain it to me. And then we just sort of made up a new segment, Take Mylan to Work Day. And I was like, who else has a cool job? And someone's like, I'm a paleontologist. And to be honest, I didn't think that. Did you know paleontology was going to be that like niche? I thought it was like archaeology. I to be honest, I just didn't separate it in my mind. I was just like, oh, cool, you dig shit up. That's what I thought. And then we've got for Yelheim in, she works with dinosaur bones.
Yeah, like the second someone can turn to you and say, oh yeah, I was looking at a Stegosaurus fucking bones this week.
Rib cage.
That's pretty insane. I don't know. I'm kind of like you in that I assumed that like all that shit had been dug up already and they stopped really. I don't know. Is there that much else to learn? Maybe it's, yes. I don't know. Maybe that's just complete fucking ignorance. But
yeah,
I don't know. Like it's.
So I think.
Of course, they're still like. I mean, this is just us being dumb. Of course, they're still trying to learn more stuff.
Dude, I want to go back to Exmouth because, you know, we've probably got heaps of dino bones, especially like those big fucking megalodons and shit. That's what they were talking about when
isn't the only bone in a megalodon its teeth?
Yeah, but big old teeth.
Big old
shark teeth
and jaws. Yeah, right.
I'm sure it has a skeleton.
No, sharks are all cartilage. Look at Matt's mind.
What's a megalodon? It's a
megalodon's a massive shark. Come on, Matt. They're in Sea of Thieves and everything. What are you doing? So yeah, I mean,
sharks
look.
Don't have. Oh, because they're fish.
Yeah, they're giant angry fish. They've got jaws.
So whales have skeletons.
Yes, but they're a mammal.
So is a megalodon a shark? Must be.
It's a really big shark. It's extinct,
right?
Thankfully, because
so we can only find its teeth.
Yeah,
mate, we should run a paleontologist.
It seems pretty easy. I don't know why you'd have to go to uni for this. You just like go and dig something up and jump to conclusions about it. It's fucking easy.
Yeah.
No, but
anyway,
like honestly, like I think that's one of those things where like we all get stuck in the day to day of our everyday life, and I'm sure Felheim has days where she wakes up and goes, oh, I can't be bothered going to work. But when you sit and you hear someone talk passionately about like just something that they do like that is so incredibly, like to us, it doesn't even seem like someone's job, right? Like it's not packing shelves or, you know, like driving a forklift around. But she was just so willing to share and so excited. So we might we'll do something when we get the dino armor in. We'll get her on and we'll talk about dinosaurs on the DDU for an hour, and it'll go like that.
If you want to see the interview, I've uploaded it to my highlight channel. Also, Mylan, just YouTube that with Mylan interviews paleontologist, and it should come up.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think you should do more of that. I think it's interesting as fuck.
I'm gonna plan. I asked for people who want to do an interview, and we've got a microbiologist, a psychologist, and Aaron Kill said he's a diplomatic. I'm gonna say this wrong.
Attaché.
Yes, that's the one.
Attaché.
That's the one. Apache.
That's kind
like
of
an
a type
Apache.
Like a type of helicopter, but not.
Yeah, you follow your diplomat around to protect and attack.
Protect and attack.
Yep. And apart from that, dude, I've hardly played fucking Destiny. I've been making videos. I've been up to midnight most nights this week making lore content.
All the real content creator hours now. Oh boy.
Yep. How about you?
Not much. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we took the day off Twitch. I think we both did that. I did it on the Wednesday night when my normal stream would be. So good to see that happening and, you know, prompting discussions more than anything. I mean, was one of those things that was a bit divisive in terms of people thought that, vacating the space wasn't necessarily a positive thing. So really I just, supported people who would choose and use their
that
voice
happened too, right?
To speak up, even if they were streaming or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, I think these things are important. I don't think it's going to make a fucking lick of difference to Twitch's bank account. They won't give a fuck.
Yeah, I took the day off too, and for in solidarity, I guess, for people who have been just getting slammed by hate raids.
Yeah.
And I'm a realist when it comes to this. I don't think it's not going to make a difference to Twitch, owned by Amazon. And I do believe they're aware. They got to be aware of the issue, and at least working on it. Or at least they're working on it now. But I think the important part of taking a day off is to just sort of show that I do support. And I'm, although it hasn't happened to me, I'm trying to think about people who are streaming and that shit happens.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. At the end of the day, the least we can do is two fucking middle-class white dudes just get the fuck out of the way for a bit and let, people want to speak, let them stream and speak. And, if not, show solidarity with the thing. So, I don't know. I mean, I hope something comes of it because, I mean, the implementation of trying to block that shit on client side, like on a streamer side, is fucking impossible. So, really, it's 100% in Twitch's court to fucking deal with it. And to be honest, with the rate that fucking, the two of the biggest names in streaming, both Dr. Lupo and Tim, jumping fucking ship over to YouTube, if YouTube came out tomorrow and went, yeah, we've got all that shit figured out. We just block all these terms and it won't happen here. I think it'd be a hammer blow to Twitch at the moment because it's just so negative.
I'll talk about my opinions on YouTube because obviously I streamed on YouTube for quite a bit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So early days, I streamed for a bit, and I'll give you this little hook. I do not see any advantage if you're currently on Twitch and you have viewers. I do not see any advantage for you switching to YouTube. That's my hook. I'll tell you why.
Unless you're going to be paid a shitload of money.
Unless they're going to pay you a couple million.
Then fucking do it.
And then you can buy about $500,000 in cryptocurrencies without breaking a sweat and let that fucking sit and accumulate. And then you can just do whatever the fuck you want for the rest of your life.
Easy. I mean, like, you're really talking like two dudes that if they were smart with their coin, and I'm sure they are, would have been more or less set for life anyway. So, but hey, we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back around. The other thing, Matt, and this is only just a recent thing, right? Like yesterday, the new Iron Maiden album came out, and I know that you have literally had nothing to do with Iron Maiden your entire life,
ever,
and they are basically the closest thing I get to religion. So
your whole name is named after them.
After the album that came out the year that I was born. So that's just a little thing. But Matt listened to Iron Maiden this morning on stream, so he's decided he's going to. So I listened
to 3 songs from the new album.
Yep.
First time I ever heard them.
Senjutsu.
And I listened to 2 or 3 songs, OG songs.
Yeah, 2. Yeah, some from back in the day, right? The 80s.
And I never listened. What genre is this? Metal?
I mean, metal? Like we're kind of talking about that in chat, and that like Maiden by like modern standards, are kind of a classic rock band, really. But when they were back in the day, they're a heavy metal band because they were sort of founding the genre, and they've gone on like Iron Maiden's influence is more now in bands like power metal bands and stuff like that. So anyway,
yeah. So my review.
Yep.
Marlon's review.
Yep.
For someone who has no right to review this music. When I listen to the OG stuff, you instantly know it's a classic. It is so unique. What's the singer's voice? What's the
Bruce Dickinson?
Like, you just like, what the fuck is his voice? Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to.
Sounds like a fucking air raid siren, man.
Yeah, you don't have to be a fan of the genre to know that shit was popping, and it's still popping.
Yeah,
and it's still good. Do you get the same feeling from the new album?
No. Yeah, I can sit here honestly and say like probably the last like Book of Souls in this album, they're starting to show their age a bit. I'll say that. Like, they're dudes in their mid-60s at this point. But
Right.
I think they're still writing fucking gun music. I think like what they've done is move away from writing like you look at, you know, Trooper, the one that you were like, the second you put it on, you're like, yeah, I've heard this definitely, and it's, you know, it's an absolute thumper, right? They moved away from writing singles like that. They just write like, go and look at that new album. All the songs on it are fucking 8-minute song journeys, you know, storytelling and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like it could be in the back of a movie, and in a Lord of the Rings Viking-esque movie, and people would say this is a killer soundtrack, and it goes with the visuals.
There you go.
But it doesn't. You know,
it's not
fucking hard to make new sounds. How hard is it to make a new fucking sound?
I think, I mean, I've had a few yarns about it, and I think that like with Maiden albums, they're one of those things that like they get better the more familiar with it. Like the more familiar you are with it. So whenever you first listen to it, you're like, oh, okay. But it's not until like 2 weeks later where all the melodies get caught in your head and you can't get rid of them that you're like, oh, it is actually a good album. And I can't fucking get all this shit out of my head. But look, I just want to say this.
Yeah.
Gamma. What an idiot. Like, how can you more conclusively embarrass yourself, right? To come in and like talk shit about Iron Maiden for 40 minutes and then go, oh, but how good are Disturbed? What do you think of Disturbed? Do you know what I think of Disturbed? I don't think of Disturbed.
Please don't hijack this stream into
No,
fucking...
I needed to.
You know,
because like I need to be able to like fucking barrel someone when they can't get back at me. I don't want to have to sit here and type frantically like a fucking sweaty little shithead in my attic, like most of you motherfuckers are. Right?
I saw
fucking
all this
Love's World
conversation about like heavy metal music, and I was like, I hate this. I hate this so much. Like, I couldn't give two shits about this, and I just saw fucking, you know, Gamma's little picture. You know, little picture he's drawn with the sharks, and it's just him throwing chum in the water.
Yeah,
the sharks just.
I know what he's doing. Yeah. I know what he's doing, but I know he's trying to get a rise out of me, and it's worked. But look, I mean, mate, stick to art, hey.
Stick to art and TikTok, mate.
Yeah. What's he doing on TikTok?
Get back on your TikToks. Get back on your TikToks, mate.
All right. So this week in Destiny, we'll just blast through the shit that's happened. We had Iron Banner return. I've done it on all 3 characters, right? And I'm looking at the new Iron Banner gear. Some of it is kind of unnerving because it's got like those weird fucking cowbell type, I don't know, things on it that people aren't jiving with too much.
What are you talking about?
The new Iron Banner armor. I don't know.
Yeah.
So apparently, we were
the
talking
barnacles.
about...
It's a sea thing.
It's not barnacles. It's actually from Sardinian folklore. If you go and look it up, I can't remember the name of it. But they're basically a based on an entity in Sardinian folklore. So I'm sure that someone at Bungie sort of got some cultural tie there and thought, well,
what's that fear when you don't like circles or holes or some shit? It gives me the heebie-jeebies.
No, it does, man. I'm not on it. I'm not on the bandwagon. I don't like looking at whatsoever. It. That, and I don't know why, but the hunter has like a piece of paper stuck to its face. Like just like what? Yeah, trypophobia. Yeah. No, I'm not down.
That's not it, is it?
I don't
is that
know.
it?
You could tell me anything at the moment and not believe it. But beyond that, I mean, Iron Banner kind of is just returned in his Iron Banner, more or less. It hasn't changed all that much, so there's not much to say about that. I don't know. Is there anything that's like happened this week that's really grabbed you? I mean, obviously we've got the story beats to cover off on. So that's kind of the meat and potatoes of it. Until we get to next week and we get trials back, I think that's going to be a very different kettle of fish. I'm going to try and get on Friday night so I can play a card and have some takes for Saturday's podcast.
Wait, when trials comes back, do we get those changes or those changes not coming yet?
No,
When does change?
when they come with trials. It starts on the 10th.
The
So
the solo stuff.
yeah, all of it. Solo, the way that
Yeah.
skill basing and all that sort of stuff works.
Yeah, but
I don't want to say
what
skill
level?
basing. But,
What's max level?
what in terms of
30,
gear
30?
score? 1330. Yeah.
Yeah, gear score.
Yeah. Need to get some raids in, son.
What's the lowest you can be?
Oh, I mean, like if you go in at 1320, you're going to be fine, and you'll just probably get slapped a little bit harder.
Right.
Like I feel like that might be a thing.
Yeah, I'm excited for that for sure.
Yeah, so that's. I mean, look, like all things, to be completely fair, this season it's the thing I'm most excited about. I love the story stuff. I'm kind of like, can we talk about Mara? Can we just like, you know how everyone loves Marasov, right? And this might be a bit of a contentious opinion. Yeah, like I mean, I don't mean that in like a demeaning way, but like she's
always been
just an asshole. Like,
you know why? She's a god.
About?
She's a god, mate.
Yeah, but like you could be a god.
That's her character.
And like Morgan Freeman wasn't an asshole in whatever that movie he was God.
Yeah,
no, that's God.
She's the kind of god that's like you're my playthings, you're my toys, you're peasants.
All right.
Yeah, remember the chessboard? She is moving chess pieces. You are pawn in a cosmic game.
For the first time in I think ever, right? I can't remember what line it was in the dialogue about the next step of her quest with her and Aldrin
Kestrels
fairy tale. Yeah. I can't remember what the line was where I went like, well, fucking hang on. Like maybe it was just even in the tone, which I guess suggests some pretty powerful delivery.
Is it when she said her mother's not her mother?
Yeah, and it was kind of like dismissing everything and all of this, and I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if there's a genuine fucking heel turn in Marasov at some point where
Loggy.
Yeah.
I have the best. It's gonna come out tomorrow. The best fucking Osiris is 100% dead theory. When I was right.
I mean, do you want to talk about it? Or
he's done.
Do you want to sit on it?
He's fucking done.
Can we talk about it?
Do you want me to?
I don't know. I mean, look.
Yeah.
Just don't tell anyone if you're listening to the podcast.
Don't
until Matt's video comes out.
Yeah,
don't tell anyone.
It'll come out tomorrow. Don't bloody tell anyone. So, I actually had covered all of this on stream before, and we even spoke about it yesterday. But it was not until I started writing the actual script, and I was like, "Hang on a second, I'm onto something here. Hang on a bloody second," and I didn't think about it. So everyone's probably heard of the wolf tone draw, which is a new bow, right?
Yeah, I got it and dismantled it immediately. Like bows, like I got to remember that I need to hang on to some bows, right?
So it sounds very much like Osiris was possessed. Okay. It does not sound like Savathun shapeshifted into a replica Osiris. It sounds like Savathun possessed his body. That's what it sounds like.
Yep.
Okay. If you believe that he is in a physically different space, it is actually harder to read that lore tab. You have to invent mechanics that we are not aware about yet. You have to say,
to say that like he's held somewhere in.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, like how is he seeing through Savathun? Okay, you have to say, okay, Osiris is being held captive in a throne world, and somehow that throne world is linked with Savathun, which allows him to see through his own body. So you have to invent a whole bunch of mechanics to make that card work, which is perfectly fine. That can happen.
I mean, we are in the realm of space magic, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, so
yes,
maybe.
It could be a thing.
Yep.
But there are certain words in the card that makes it sound very much like a possession. Like when he hears Saint's voice, he says, "I hear his voice and I push to the surface." So it sounds like he's being suppressed in his body, right?
Yeah, but then if he's still in there, He gets turned into a big Savathun-shaped fucking rock or whatever.
Exactly. He's dead. That's what I'm thinking. Right? Now listen to this. This is from the new auto rifle. It's from the new auto rifle.
Yep.
Savathun, physical form, a twisting instar, emerges from the shadows and crawls over the shattered pieces of the ghost. She reaches toward the ruined man. Now,
yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Well, there's only really one.
Do you know what the word instar means?
No.
I did not know either.
How do you spell it? How do you spell it?
INSTAR. Instar.
Oh, right. Okay. Instar. You're right.
Ready? Wait for this. The phase between two periods of molting in the development of an insect larvae or other invertebrate. Okay? She is a shadow crawling on the ground in between stages of evolution. And what the fuck did she crawl into? Osiris.
Ooh.
Right. Now, let's run it back to Season of Splicer. Let's have a look how Savathun describes her disguise in the city. This is when she's disguised, okay? Oh, no. She says, I clench the gangling black mass that threatens to unspool recklessly from within this shell of flesh.
Yep.
My new arms are too weak, too thin. My new shell still bound with thick mucus. Not yet, I say. I'm speculating, and this is a DDU exclusive because I didn't have this yesterday. For the, I'm sorry, Watts.
You don't have to apologize to Watts, yeah. Hello.
I wrote this after the podcast, and honestly, if I didn't go out last night, I said to Danny, this is a fucking crackpot theory. I have to get this up ASAP and be the first to talk about this because I don't think people have put this together yet. So if you lambs and you hobbits and you DDU goblins steal this, I'm going to uppercut you 3 times. Right? So we have a lore entry that describes Savathun as a freaking larvae, right? Who's in between stages of development. She crawls into Osiris, who's just lost his ghost. We have references to a shell of flesh, to the body being too weak, and her saying, not yet. Then we have, in the same auto rifle, it describes this blob in the Ahamkara skull, which originally we thought was like somehow Savathun with some sort of like portal, like seeing into the tower.
Yep.
I think
the blob was
she
her
shed
in
her
him.
skin. It is a metamorphosis. She shed her shell. She's this formless blob. She crawls into Osiris. He is the first stage of the cocoon. And do you know what hits the fucking... Do you know what hits the home run, Loggy?
Give it me. Give it me.
Right. In the cutscene with Savathun, first week, what do we see Osiris? What happens?
He does the big transform into a cocoon.
The ink blot cutscene.
I can't remember. You're going to have to run it by me.
It's a skeleton Osiris, and what's coming out of his mouth? Moths.
Oh, right. Fuck.
Osiris is the original. Osiris is the cocoon. The first stage cocoon for her development. He got ripped. He got ripped to shreds when she revealed herself and then frozen. I think that Osiris's soul could be elsewhere, but his physical body Savathun crawled into and
she
made it a cocoon.
Chest bursted him. More or
She
less.
chest bursted him. If you think about that and you go back and watch that scene, it is graphic, and that's why it's not shown. That's why it's off, because you can hear Osiris's skin burst. It rips.
Oh man,
that's my theory.
That's heavy. That's heavy as fuck. Hey,
that's my theory.
But I kind of love it. But look, does this open the door for Osiris to then be like kind of like our orange Jedi ghost uncle that, because if anyone's going to manage to survive without a body, it's going to be him, right?
I think he could become, okay, there's more, right?
But
so so do you know how movies,
yes,
when you're watching a movie
I've seen
and things are going really good, or you just know they're going to fuck us over. Like, you just know, they're like, I see what you're doing, director. You're making me like this character because you're going to kill him.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, of course.
Right?
Of course.
So
yeah,
what they're doing right now is they're building Saint 14 up and they're going to break the man down. If you listen to his dialogue, he is sending a broadcast out to the fucking city. And Akora's like, you don't have to message these live. He's like, Osiris, I'm coming for you. Please wait for me like I waited for you. He is getting desperate and emotional. And I reckon Bungie is going to break Saint 14. They're going to break him.
I mean, look, I'll say this, right? Given last season and the real, like, how good is Saint kind of vibe, there's that, the initial, oh shit, like he's literally fucking Satan to the fallen, right? They see him as like a outright demon, and then he has the full story arc of coming around at the end, standing with Mithrax, defending them, being the hero. I think you're right. I think.
So imagine this.
Yeah.
Imagine Saint 14, Witch Queen, is a revenge story for Osiris.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Saint 14, fucking full send, Doomslayer mode, Angry Saint. We are back to the OG Conquest Saint. I give zero fucks. I'm going in here to punch faces. And I'm all out of names. What's the saying?
I'm here to
chew bubble gum and kick ass,
and I'm all out of
bubble gum.
Who did Saint threaten in that cutscene though?
Which one?
In the cutscene where Mara says, this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to do it. He doesn't threaten Savathun. He doesn't threaten Savathun. He threatens Mara. Because I remember that as a point in the, like, more or less to the effect, you better be fucking right, or.
Okay, here's a last sucker punch. You ready for this?
Hit me.
This is gonna knock you. This is gonna knock your wind out.
And it's not hard.
Do you remember what?
Do
you remember what? Do you remember what sidearm was added to the loot pool before Cade 6 died?
No. Oh, I remember that. The sidearm.
It was called
years ago.
It was called Spoiler Alert.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what the fucking flavor text reads?
Yeah, someone's gonna die or something like that.
Someone's gonna die. Do you know what they re-released into the loot pool this season?
That gun. Do you reckon?
That gun.
Like, really?
Recycled content.
Yeah, but maybe it's Osiris. He's already fucking dead.
That's what I'm saying. He's dead. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, in the opening cinematic of the season.
Yes.
Just like Cade. Wow. I'm going to need to go and have a fucking lie down.
Don't we?
Yeah,
Jesus
look,
Christ.
I play the everyman. Okay. I'm kind of following along a little better than I'm going to pretend I am, but still.
But here's the thing, right? Can you really just imagine? Let's just think about the end of this season. Are we really just going to find Osiris tied up and be fine?
No, no.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, the more you think about it, the more it almost seems logical that it's a ruse, right? That it's all a lie, and I think Mara knows that it's a lie as well.
I think so
but
too.
She's using it to motivate us and Saint and play everyone along.
I think Mara fucking knows that Osiris is already dead.
I think it's gonna. Yeah.
Yup. And do you know what we've seen? I don't know if you saw my retweet of it. You know how I made a video about the Kara egg?
Yes.
Fuck, who was it? Chat might remember. Someone went through frame by frame in Season of the Lost, and there is a frame of the Armkara egg looking like it activates. It is like on its end, like levitating, and behind it is like a taken blob that looks similar to Oryx's throne, the Shrine of Oryx. Something is going to happen with Armkara egg. I'm telling you.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, that would lean into the theory that maybe it's Savathun that gets the wish, and the wish is to have the light, right, and to be rid of the worm.
Like you know Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and they get Shenron, and then like some motherfucker, like once they've collected all the Dragon Balls, someone comes along like really emotional and like makes a wrong wish and fucks it all up.
Yeah.
I'm
or like there's a giant evil chrysalis in the room, just right near where this is all happening. It could be, like some alien that we don't understand. I don't know, man. There's too many fucking analogs with aliens and shit. If there is a facehugger in this fucking franchise anywhere, this podcast is done. I'm out of it. Of all of the things in cinematic history that I cannot cop, it's them. They're fucking disgusting. If I see an egg go boop, open, that's it. Podcast, everything over.
So, I've actually had a lot of fun with the story, and I mentioned this on DCP as well. Some people might not know, but Ishtar Collective is the website that I use to basically do my research, because I don't have to unlock the lore entries and I can go through and read them.
Yep.
And this season they've decided to not release the lore books from day one and only release them as they are told in game. So right now you can only read the first 2 books. So unless you go and data mine it yourself, we don't know how the season's going to end. And what it's done is, I think the general Destiny population, are having these cool theory crafting sessions between weeks, which I have not felt in a long time, to be honest.
I think it's great. I mean, I don't know whether, do you think maybe they got a bit of a tap on the shoulder? Like, can you please?
So to give some background, when I had met some of the guys from Narrative, these they're not there anymore, but everyone got introduced to each other, and Ishtar Collective did have a dialogue with Narrative, and Narrative would go, "Can you please not put these things on?" And Ishtar would be like, "Yep, no problem," and they would hide them. Things like the Truth to Power book and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure a bunch of new writers came in, and that sort of conversation got lost. I don't know if it got refound. I know there was talking about it again, that like, just honestly, if Bungie reached out and said, "Can you not do it?" Ishtar Collective would just not do it, honestly, because those guys do it all for the passion. They don't make any fucking money from Ishtar Collective.
They just do it for the love of the franchise.
Not like me, absolute shill making YouTube videos. Like they don't
playing
have
Thomas
ads.
the Tank Engine, fucking give me your fucking money.
Give me your money. They don't have any ads. I think they do have a Patreon, but it's not quit your day job kind of deal. So
yeah, no, and I think like that's where you know that they're kind of like coming at it from the perspective of the fan, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think like, even if it is a decision that they've made themselves, which it may well be, because there's stuff that we knew last season that really fucking changed the way, like, I remember we were talking about it on the podcast, and because I didn't really understand the context of the timeline that things were meant to be rolled out, I was talking about, I read this final fucking book in this thing, and you went, don't, and gave me the it's not in the game yet, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Like, because I'd just been I was up one night, putting my daughter to bed, flipping through the books. I think like the conversation around it and the unknowns, right? Because that's, we've had this conversation before where like what you do is 10 times more powerful if the more unknowns there are, right? And like as Destiny kind of arcs in, it's going to be one of those things that's a little bit harder to find those things. But I think if we're going to get like I mean, the story is so open-ended right now, it could go any way, and we genuinely have no idea more than a week ahead of what's happening. I think that's nuts. I think it's like, I'm excited by it.
Yeah, I it's been weird because I've been excited, man. It feels very nostalgic for me, and I don't know if this is because this is my real first release as a full-time content creator where I can just put all my efforts into it and not have to worry about doing another day job, or I'm genuinely excited to make lore videos. And I think the big contributing factor is I don't know where this is going to go, and I want to find out. And it's cool talking about it, and that is great for the franchise.
Oh, dude. I mean, look, it's infectious because, I mean, I'm sitting here like, I mean, we talk for an hour and a half every fucking week, right? On this podcast, and then after that, and I'm still sitting here hanging on every word, not like sick of just hearing your voice. So,
and do you know what else I did? I'm basically filling you guys in all the video. So normally I only make one video a week. I think I made 5 videos this week. Right? I've made over a month's worth of content in a week. Skira. Have you heard of Skira? If you say yes, you're lying, because Skira has never fucking been in the lore. They added, Logie, get this. They added dialogue to override.
What?
When Season of the Lost. Yes. When Season of the Lost came out, they added dialogue. Fucking Mithrax talks about an ancient enemy called Skira. Never mentioned before.
So you think, given that we've also learned that the Taken weren't Oryx's creation, which was my understanding of it.
It could be.
Is this it starting to throw out some breadcrumbs that in a year's time will bring it to fruition? Oh yeah, we've been laying these seeds for this long. That's fucking nuts. But like, look, I'm kind of at the point now where like the seasonal activity already, and it's been a week and a bit, I'm like rolling my eyes at it a little bit. Like the Ascendant Realms and stuff, fucking cool.
Yeah, but you get into the mission, right? You get into the mission, and then you're like, eh. But like, I'm keen to play the mission each time and get the dialogue and get the fucking transmissions. Like,
I just mean the thing that starts in the blind well. It's the farming thing. Like I kind of feel like that might have run its course, and I think that's the kind of general sentiment about that. But if you had a selection of things that you could run that all went basically to the same place, because they're all the same sort of thing, right? Rather than having their own individual currencies, you could go and run an override, and then you could run and do the blind well thing, whatever it's called, ley lines, fucking whatever. I can't even remember. And you could do all of the seasonal fucking things that all work towards the thing and got new dialogue in all of them. And it was prioritized so that if you went and did one a week, you'd get the new dialogue in all of them. I think it'd be a fucking huge deal. I
wish it did that.
Because, I mean, you've got so many players that play, right? Like where, that's an example of, Mithrax is telling you something that we didn't already know. That's kind of not directly related to anything that's happening now, but it's world building. So if they've got access to the voice actors to be able to go, okay, well, here's, maybe it's only 3 or 4 different mission ending sequences, right, for each thing. But there's a new one every week for the start of the season in all of the activities, and they all work together for you to combine them into their pinnacle or whatever. I think it'd be a big fucking deal in terms of keeping it fresh.
Yeah. I don't know what it needs. I think we actually spoke about this on DCP. What the season? I think everyone's in agreement. They're enjoying the story, but what the season needs to keep activities fresh. And I think it comes down to you either. I had a couple ideas. I think they obviously need new strikes and you need new stuff to run. But I also think what they did with Lost Sectors to revitalize Lost Sectors by essentially like a time trial for an exotic.
Yep.
I think stuff like that could be real. Like someone said, give me solo strikes, whatever, that have different mods. As long as you reward people for their time, people will do it.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And I think that like they'd definitely be aware of this. Like I dare say that come next year, after we've hit the Witch Queen and we see what the seasonal content after that looks like, we'll probably start to see the lessons that they've learned and chosen and things like that, like the earlier parts of this current model. And look, I mean, if improve on it. I mean, the storytelling's fucking insane. We go over this every week, but like, we're there. Like, how does the storytelling get better?
They have the formula. They've got the formula down.
It's your weekly fucking TV show. Like, I get on every Wednesday night now, and normally I couldn't give a shit. Like, when now I'm like, I'll go and do the fucking missions first. Go and do the missions first, and then worry about everything after that.
Yep.
I don't know. Yep. Powerful stuff. So what else did you cover in videos this week? Just so we can.
So we did Amkara. We did the Amkara egg. We did Skira. We did.
So is there anything more to Skira, or is it just sort of the illusion that there's a ancient power that we don't understand?
Well, yeah. So we brought that up, and then I brought up on Bungie's website. It says that the pyramid ship is the location for the raid in Witch Queen, and it says an ancient evil is imprisoned within. And I don't know how to connect the dots yet. It's all very like non-typical throne world. Like normally, you would go into a throne world to kill the Hive God, like you to kill Savathun.
That's
right?
the seat of their power, more or less.
Right. So but we could do that in the campaign. So maybe the campaign is going to be killing Savathun, and maybe the raid is going to be this pyramid ship.
Is the throne world thing? Is that endemic to the Hive, or is that endemic to the worm in the Hive?
It is people who have very strong wills, because godlike people. Mara Solve created a throne world herself.
Right.
Well, she had Riven to do it, but she created a planet, and there's basically you have these godlike characters who persist beyond death.
Right. Okay. So that's there.
Oryx got the power to do it from the worm gods, but it's not worm god specific. But that's what gave him enough power. Just like Mara got enough power from Riven to make her own throne world.
Or say if you were like, I don't know, one really, really famous light-bearing warlock that happened to be killed off and exploded into a pile of guts by the antagonist of this season. Like maybe you could have your own throne world, maybe.
But you told him, mate.
True. I mean, he's still fucking kicking around as a bloody orb of light, so... I don't know,
paracausal. Paracausal is the best bet. Is the best sort of explanation. Those who are paracausal.
That's a very, very complicated word.
Yeah.
Right, where were we at? I was going to ask you something and I've completely forgotten.
I was telling you about Skira.
Yes.
The other thing is you're probably going to talk about Oryx and the Taken, because we get told that there's a new Taken master, right?
Yep.
And we're like... And she says, not Oryx, the original. Like, huh? What are you fucking talking about?
So the
Oryx
original
was
master?
The original.
Or...
But so this, for the first time, confirms that Oryx is not the first to make the Taken. And we have a dialogue that says that Oryx merely borrowed them. So...
Oh, right, okay.
I think it is...
So you can't...
It's either going to be something we've never seen before, like Skira or some shit, or it's going to be the darkness, like personified somehow.
Yep.
I think that they're the two options we're going for.
Yeah, because it's not Zivu or Wrath either. Like, that's that kind of...
She's being controlled by someone, this master.
Yeah, she sounds like she's been told to go and sort out her sister.
Yeah.
More or less by whoever's pulling the big strings.
Yep. Go bully your sister. Yep.
Yeah. Holy fuck.
And then I did a complete recap of week 1. And
what's the one thing that you think everyone overlooked most in week 1? Is there a tidbit of information that people kind of like went, oh,
I have to bring up my notes. Week 1 was fucking jam packed.
Yeah, it was so full. Like, it was kind of unfair in that way, in that we had so much like actual like game stuff to talk about, and then all of this lore stuff, like mountains of it to work our way through as well. Definitely some stuff fell off the edges of the table, but
I looking back now with and my mind is focused on Osiris, and I think that ink cutscene showing Osiris like dead inside with moths coming out of his mouth, if that turns out to be true, that's my number one overlook thing. Like we're told Osiris is alive, and then we get literally shown a cutscene with him dead.
Yeah, but I mean,
I know it's meant to.
yeah.
Okay, it's metaphoric in the sense it's meant to represent Savathun inside Osiris's body, pretending to be Osiris. But it's also its imagery is very strongly of the metamorphosis, Osiris being used as a cocoon.
Fuck, Destiny's so much better when it's horribly bleak, isn't it? Like, here's the most famous fucking warlock of all time. Guess what? He just became grub food.
Chat's talking about Oryx, and I went back and I looked at the original books of Sorrow about when Oryx learned to take. And it's one of those things I think the community just repeated a number of times, and it became a bit of a truth that wasn't quite said, that, you know, it's very easy to say Oryx he invented them, which wasn't quite right. He killed Savathun and Ziva Arath and got really, really powerful. He went to the worm god Akka and he said, teach me the powers of the deep. And the worm god's like, nah, my doggy, that's for us. And then Oryx goes, aha, I gotcha. That's because the darkness asks that you take and the light gives. So you cannot give me the power of the deep, but I can fucking take it. So he chops Akka into bloody pieces, and then he creates the tablets of ruin, which allows him to commune with the deep. He literally goes and has a conversation with the darkness. When he comes back, he says, I am now Oryx. That's when his name changes.
Yep.
I am now Oryx, the Taken King. And that's it.
Oh man, you kind of forget that. I need to go and fucking refresh on that. I feel like it's all going to come to fruition in a way, right? Like it was a story that we'd gone, oh, okay, well maybe Oryx as part of it is over, and maybe well it is, but I think the things that he's set in play are definitely just going to continue.
Do you know who needs a fucking clap? Needs acknowledgement?
Who's that?
Seth Dickinson.
Oh yeah.
Who wrote the books of Sorrow.
Yeah, they're the
which is
foundation
literally
for all of this.
Which has impacted Destiny's story far more than the original storyline. Just nearly everything, you know, comes back to the books of Sorrow in some way. And that's because it's fucking good.
Well, that, and it was the high watermark for everything Destiny, right? Like the Taken King is still spoken about in like that kind of semi-revered way. All right. Well, look, do you want to change tack for a bit and we'll talk about all this everyone fucking off the YouTube?
Oh yeah, sure. So that's a great convo.
So I mean, look, I don't want to go for forever on the law. We'll circle back at the end, and if you've got any questions, keep your powder dry. You can ask some questions at the end, but we'll take a quick palate cleanser and talk about Dr. Lupo, who gets a mention in the TWAB with the playing along to a symphony. Did I ever think I'd fucking see that? Fucking hell, how awesome. Like, oh, by the way, can you turn up and just do the raid and we'll set up an orchestra around you to fucking go through it?
Like, no disrespect to Dr. Lupo at all, because he does an amazing job with everything he does when it comes to streaming and charity and what he did with Destiny and then his transition into other games. But, and I don't want to speak for him, but if that was me, would you not feel a little bit embarrassed with all these fucking talented
I thought
musicians?
I thought
and
that.
and just how ridiculous it is that you're playing a fucking video game.
Nerd. Play the game, nerd. There was a moment where I'm like, this is epic. It's also fucking weird.
Ridiculous, yeah.
You know, we haven't seen like a individual sports person like doing what they do and having an orchestra fucking accompany them along. But I think it's I don't know, it's super novel and I like it. Like it was great. Don't get me wrong. It's
like I prefer to see Dr. Lupo doing that shit than some other fucking B-grade celebrity like who doesn't play video games and Bungie paying or whoever paying a bunch of money to try promo and market Destiny using fucking someone who is a distant memory because you watched them on TV once.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, like Lupo's a huge deal now, and we'll get into the YouTube side of it. But I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. If they wanted to do exactly the same thing again, but get Big Show instead, I feel like that would be pretty cool. Just this immense man just playing the game on a controller, maybe surrounded by an orchestra. Sign me up.
I take it back. There are some celebs who are genuine fans of Destiny.
I'd watch Lance Reddick play on his Warlock.
Yes. As a punishment.
He's a Warlock.
But is he a Warlock?
Weird. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
no!
What about this? Is this one?
Is this one? Warlock.
Ice-T on his Titan.
Yes.
Just, I reckon he could drop some bars as well while he's sort of like.
Dude, how much do you reckon it would cost for Ice-T?
A lot. A lot. I don't know. I mean, he loves his games though, so maybe it's something that he'd be open to. I don't know. I'd love to see it. That's all I'm saying. I'm just as a fan of him and Destiny.
What was the next thing? Oh, YouTube, right.
So YouTube, Lupo, Tim the Tap Man.
Dr. Lupo, Tim the Tap Man, and Courage, correct?
I think Courage went a while ago, didn't he?
A while ago. They're all back with Dr. Disrespect, which is a nice reunion. Did you hear that Dr. Disrespect is going to be suing Twitch because he finally knows about why they got rid of him, and he's like, I'm going to sue him now.
What, like, do we know?
No, we don't know.
Yeah, okay.
But he's announced that he knows now. He's known for the last couple of months, and that he is going to sue the fuck out of them. So, I hope, but this is what's going to happen. There's going to be a settlement, and we will never find out. Amazon will settle it.
Oh yeah, there's no way in the world they're going to let it drag through the courts. No fucking way.
If he is that confident, because he said that he has lost like 40%, or either 40%, or he's only making a quarter of what he would make on Twitch because he is considered a brand risk because no one knows what he's done.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so the assumption on the part of anyone looking to work with him is that he's done something horrible to get banned from Twitch in the first place.
Yeah.
So, I mean, clearly he feels like he hasn't and can back that up in court. So, can you imagine how immense the settlement will be for this, though? It will be fucking enormous when you compound, like, okay, here's a dude that was literally the top of the pops and could have been indefinitely, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, then again, there may be just wording in the terms of service that negates the entire fucking thing.
This is why I was actually thinking of doing a YouTube video on why I don't stream on Twitch. Oh, sorry, you idiot. Why I don't stream on YouTube.
The sound of that actually came through really well.
Did it?
Yeah.
Donk.
Yeah, that's good.
Why I don't stream on YouTube, right? First option, discovery.
Yep.
I'll bet you if you go create a new Twitch channel and you go and create a new YouTube channel with 0 subscribers and 0 followers and you start live streaming, you will have 0 people watching you on both platforms. Both platforms have very, very poor discoverability. You need a way to push traffic to your live streams. YouTube is almost non-existent. To get into the live stream directory, you have to like click on the side menu, go either into gaming and then go into live, and just to get into like a category of games, you have to click 2 or 3 buttons before you're even there. And even then, when you're in the live stream fucking directory, it only shows like the top 4 people, and then it's straight back to actual YouTube videos. Like if you go to gaming, it will show like 1 or 2 people streaming, and then it will just show you like gaming videos. So if you go live streaming on YouTube, you need to be making YouTube content anyway to be growing.
Yep.
So my response is, why would you put all your eggs in the YouTube basket and risk someone DMCAing you 3 times in a row and fucking losing your whole channel, or someone botting you, or someone doing something to you, when there's, right as it is now, there is no advantage for being the live stream on YouTube. And people go, well, you're going to miss the boat. No, you're not, because right now I'm on Twitch and I'm putting out more YouTube videos than I've ever done before. Like, I'm growing my Twitch channel whilst also building on another platform, so that if I ever run into DMCA or Twitch changes, or fucking Australian government changes the fucking rules again, and like now my YouTube feed's full of news articles because we have to pay fucking Google, we have to pay media to share news on YouTube now, right? So I don't see any benefit of discoverability. On top of that, you also dilute your YouTube content. And Tim the Tap Man said he's talked to a whole bunch of people, and guess what he's fucking doing? He's aware of this.
Making a separate channel.
Making one channel dedicated to live streaming, and one channel dedicated.
I didn't know that.
One channel, right? One channel will be Tim the Tap Man Live. And the only thing on that channel will be live streams and like the VOD, the previous. Everything else will be on a different channel, which will be your, 10 to 15 minute
curated
montage.
Content. Yeah.
Curated content. Because what happens is, he's actually got 3 channels. I can't remember what the third channel's for. Because what happens is people start getting notifications, right? Especially someone for me, like, people click on notifications because, like, I'm going to get a high quality lore video, right? And then all of a sudden, every morning now they're getting Marlon's Live, and they don't want to tune into it. So they start ignoring it. So what happens is they no longer click on, when I actually do have content, the video.
Yeah, so it's a system that more or less works against itself in that way.
Yeah. YouTube's discoverability is in videos, not live streaming.
I think at this point, if they're serious about it, they need to launch a separate competing platform rather than...
They did. It was YouTube Gaming, and it failed. It was a separate platform.
Yeah, of course.
It was technically a separate platform.
I just think that, like, and I know that this is probably me looking at, Twitch through at least some segment of like rose tinted glasses, but like a lot of the people that I've come to be friends with, I've found by like just scrolling through the Destiny category on Twitch, right? And just jumping into streams and saying g'day and hanging out and whatever. YouTube, that's impossible. Like that isn't part of it. And by extension, Facebook as well. Like I've spent literally no time on Facebook gaming in the last few months because, there's people that are like goths over there and that sort of stuff. So like I'd watch their stuff, but first and foremost, I don't want to interact in a chat with my whole actual fucking name. Like, that seems a bit shit. But how do I go and find like, up and coming Facebook streamers? You just fucking don't. And the same on YouTube. You just, it's like the system's entirely geared to feed around the people who are already there and already making money and doing that.
Like, I think if you're going to YouTube, you're, the only reason you live stream on YouTube is to service your current audience. The only way you're going to grow is by uploading videos that you've curated. So it is part of a package. That you say, this is Marlon Games, I live stream and I also make lore videos. But I still feel like there's too many downsides to doing that compared to building your brand on multiple platforms. Like having a Twitch channel,
that's been
a YouTube channel.
The big lesson, right? Like over the last few years. And it was probably one that was, it was a big lesson to me in the last few years. Right? So it was probably common fucking knowledge to just about everyone in the world for the 10 years before that. But diversification of platforms is fucking big, right?
Yeah.
Like Like you need to be, and that's the thing is like I want to do my music stuff, but also simultaneously am self-loathing and can't be bothered. So, that's a hurdle to overcome. But then once I overcome that, it's like that I've got to put it fucking everywhere and maintain all these social media fucking platforms and stuff. But that's how people who really want to grow do it, right? Like that's you got to make fucking TikTok content, repurpose that and use it on fucking YouTube for shorts, and then put it on Twitter and fucking put it on Instagram, and like be doing all of that at once to grow, right? Like these guys that are at the top of the food chain that have been poached by YouTube and whatever, like good on them, like, and they're good people, like good on them, but their experience and where that they sit is completely fucking irrelevant to anyone on the up and up, right? Like, so that's the thing that frustrates me about this shit is that whenever this happens, and we saw it happen with fucking Facebook, and we saw it happen with fucking Mixer when it was became Mixer from fucking Beam, right? That everyone, like, it's a stunt. And that's all it is. It's a stunt to make people go, oh, well, if Lupo's over there, it must be getting better. It must be good now. I'm going to go over there. But it like, you just shooting yourself in the foot. And that's a part of it that frustrates me. Like, I'm happy for them to make their fucking money and thrive, and I hope they do incredibly well. But there's an insipid part of it that is like people are going to go there and fucking lose because of this at the same time.
There is that. And, I do think it's nearly impossible. There are some examples of people we know that have, done very well on Twitch without making content elsewhere. But one of the things that they do have to rely on is community and networking. And put it this way, the Destiny directory is very, very, I don't want to say dead, but it's not really there on YouTube, right? So the way that I probably got to know Miss 5000 Watts was most likely through raiding her when I finished a stream and starting up a conversation and saying hi, and then being like, oh, you want to come DTP? Sure. Okay, great. All right, everyone DTP.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean in the context of like the community aspect of like the Destiny fucking Twitch directory is the most powerful thing about it. And I imagine it's the same for every other game, right? Like, you can go on every day and go, oh, here's the who's who of, I know them, they're cool, I'm not interested in this. And okay, cool, I want to find someone new, and I'll scroll down and find someone that I haven't met before. Like that's there. And you're right, like it leads into social interaction, and who knows, you might end up on a fucking podcast.
Exactly. So discoverability, I mean, and then there's obviously all those like features like being able to raid or host, or they're slowly adding bits and emotes and just the general experience, and then just potentially killing your own channel and being in fear of the algorithm because people might not watch the live stream as much. And finally, put it this way, let's just say I'm completely wrong. Okay, let's say I'm completely fucking wrong, and YouTube becomes the premier live streaming service, and everyone's on it. Let me ask you this: have I lost anything if I continue to regularly upload on YouTube and stream on Twitch?
No.
All right, as far as I'm concerned, it is zero risk, because my audience is going to be growing on YouTube, right? They're going to be there. And if Twitch becomes the #1 place, I'm like, okay, I guess I stream on Twitch. I guess I stream on YouTube. Guess what? Everyone's already there anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, anyone who's like got the multiple content streams has a foot in either hopper anyway, right? Like, you're kind of safe.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, I don't know. I just like with this sort of shit, I hope that we hit the fucking, because I know that every time this happens, I go onto Twitter and I'm like, oh, fucking, I'm going to move. And I've seen it that many times now, and I've watched people like, everyone fucking ends up back on Twitch. It sucks, but everyone does. Like, are they fucking garbage at like dealing with the hate raid shit and all of that? Yeah. Are they fucking incredibly tone deaf? Yeah. Do I want someone to come along and absolutely fucking rock the apple cart a bit? Yeah. But this isn't it.
Do you want me to tell you the difference
Maybe
between
I'm just old and fucking jaded, but like
difference between YouTube and Twitch in regards to responding to the community, right? Twitch will say, I'm here, I hear you. We're working on it, and it'll take fucking years to implement. Do you know what YouTube says?
nothing.
Nothing. They don't even mate, you're a
Who are you
speck in
again?
the fucking who are
Yeah.
you? Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, like what would I worried about you and you're fucking streaming to 30 people when I've got a video of cats over here and it's just got 1 million fucking views in a day. Like, I've got no reason
They're
to
more
give a shit.
likely to scrap if it's not working. They're more likely to fucking scrap it.
True. Yeah, and we've seen it.
Just
We've
like
seen it in the
YouTube
past. Just
gaming
fucking-
disappeared.
Yeah, YouTube gaming disappeared. And you look at Mixer and all the money that went into that from fucking Microsoft. Like, it's fucking massive. I don't know. I hope we haven't doom and gloomed anyone too hard. I feel like we let in a little bit more than I was anticipating, but we'll circle back around. I'm just trying to be pragmatic, man. Like, and look, if you've got any questions,
think it's the best decision. I don't think it's the best decision for if you are struggling on Twitch. I do not think your best decision is to start live streaming on YouTube. I think your best thing to do is to spend more time uploading YouTube videos and building a brand on both platforms.
Yep, and a presence on every social media platform.
Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, fucking Instagram, you fucking ballsack. I don't know.
New one I haven't heard of, your balls. All right. If you've got any questions for me and the cobber, just fire away. We'll do this. We'll bring it. Now that
YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts are fucking great at the
they're
moment.
popping off. And look, and the cross-purposing of that with TikTok, like just do it. Keep it under a couple of minutes.
Dude.
Money.
YouTube Shorts.
Well, not really money, but discoverability anyway. I don't know.
Motherfuckers are just like doing 60 seconds of I've seen people doing what's in Destiny store today, getting 100K views on YouTube Shorts.
Looking at what's in the Destiny store.
Literally going into the Destiny store and saying you can purchase these items for silver with a preview and these items for bright dust. That's it. Almost zero commentary.
There you go, kids. Don't even have to talk to anyone. What more could you want?
We're such boomers. We get fired up about dumb shit, don't we?
Oh, look. You know what we get fired up about?
Protecting
out for people. Like,
yeah.
I don't get pissed off about much anymore unless I see someone doing something dumb that's going to hurt someone else. Right? Most of it is like live and let live. I couldn't give a fuck less. But when I see this sort of stuff and I know that the flow-on effect is that it's going to, some fucking kid that, has just started on Twitch and he's got himself to fucking, 10 viewership and just got his affiliate ship is going to see this as he's like, oh, this is the big ticket move. And he's going to waste a year of his life on fucking YouTube and end up coming back to Twitch to 5 viewers and it's, and then be depressed about it. I don't want that to happen. If I can help it. So if you're there.
And it's tough, man. It's a tough mental health industry to work in because it's so superficial. It's so much about numbers and fucking online e-penises and fucking, who's got the most viewers and who has the largest watch time and how quickly it's tough. And we want to steer you in the right direction. And I wholeheartedly believe you should be on multiple platforms.
Or I'll steer you in the right direction when COVID fucks off. Just don't do any of it. Go to the pub. How about that? Just get a normal job. Be a normal cunt.
You'll be happier. I'll tell you this. You want to talk about stats? You have probably a higher chance of making money off fucking Bitcoin than you have of making money off YouTube. And that's the truth, mate. If you spent the same amount of time researching stocks or cryptocurrency or ways to invest your money as you put into streaming to 0 viewers on Twitch, you would make more money.
You know what? We can bring this full circle, Matty. There's a poetic way we can bring it full circle to a conversation we had probably an hour ago, if not longer. There is beauty in just going out and doing something, right? Whether it's this, whether it's content creation, whether it's, you know, what I do, go and work, be a metallurgist, right? Or be a paleontologist.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need
Follow
to
your
do
passion.
this. There you go. Follow your passion. Follow your dreams. Don't let your dreams be memes, kids.
Don't let your dreams be
Everyone
memes,
like their
mate.
kids. Like there is no kids that watch this shit. I fucking hope not. Anyway, if there is, you've learned a few
There's
new
probably
words.
some kids.
Worried about you, kids. All right, quick fucking questions. You've got 10 seconds because we're going to end this shit.
Is there nothing in the TWAB? Do we just skip the TWAB altogether?
There's nothing in the Dr. Lupo's in the TWAB.
Right, done.
Looking very happy with himself and deservedly so. You're a 17-year-old kid, Scazza? All right, okay.
Get him out. Ban.
Isn't there an 18-year-old warning on this? You fucking lie.
How big a hole did you dig, Matt? Look, Jugs was making. So we asked questions to the paleontologist, right? And Chat was like, "How big a hole you dig?" And Jugs thought it was dumb. Jugs thought that's a fucking dumbass question, but it was actually insightful because she's like, "Oh, a couple feet." And everyone's like, "Huh? A couple feet?" I thought I needed to get a fucking drill and dig into the core of the earth to find dino bones. She's like, "Nah, they're shallow, man. You can find them." So I thought that was good.
Here's a good question. Why does Mylon sound so intelligent when he's sick?
All right, just a very, very special. I'm gonna pull back the character, right? Just like when Dr. Disrespect breaks character, takes off his sunnies. All right.
I believe that Doc's character is the mustache, though. It makes it really fun. I don't see him any other way, right? Like, you can try and be genuine. It doesn't work. All right. Anyway, behind the facade of Merlin Games, what is it?
The formula for Twitch is everyone likes to be a 2000 IQ, right? It feels good. Feels good. So what character do you pick? You pick the jester because everyone can point and laugh at the jester, right? Everyone goes, la, 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 la. They can watch 5 minutes and they go, oh my God, I'm so clever. I'm so smart. And they can walk away from the stream feeling good about themselves.
I think anyone who's watched this podcast for more than about 3 minutes already knows that. We're coming up on 230 episodes of doing exactly that.
Yep.
I'll quite happily ask dumb questions just to get memed on, just so we have a good time.
Is that like when you get arrested for something? Like, no, officer, I was acting.
I've not tried that. I'm gonna have to give that a go.
Can you imagine though? Can you imagine if my whole Twitch stream has been a fucking act?
Nah, I mean, and I think that's the other part of it is that it's very fucking obvious that you are, and I think most people are,
Booth Brian.
like a concentrated and distilled version of themselves, like in that context.
Yep.
All right.
It's just
Matt,
a prank. It's just a prank, kids. Remember
It's just
that.
a prank, bro. It's just a prank. Matt, where will the law find people this week? Are we still doing that? Where will the law pursue people to?
Yeah, they will pursue people. Yeah, sure. Right, imagine this. Imagine this. You peer into a cave. You see Sagira shattered in pieces. You see an Osiris gasping for air. Then you see this disgusting, slimy larvae creeping across the ground. Osiris gags, open his mouth. This
Oh, I feel sick already.
alien creature enters Osiris as he violently convulses on the floor. His eyes flash green. He looks directly into your into your direction, even through the dark, and says, "The Lord has found you."
Terrifying.
Is that good?
Yeah, terrifying. Terrifying.
Yeah,
And on that incredibly somber and horrible note, we're going to go and visit Hippo, so hang around, all right? Go and say good day in her stream. She's an absolute champion. We'll see you next week. Until then, I don't know. Just don't go to YouTube. I guess that's what we're saying, all right? Bye.
Bye.